Welcome back to Bravo Breaking News with Kim and Lisa. This week on The Real Housewives of Orange County, the ladies are going on the defensive as Gretchen's accusations about Tamara come to a head and the drama heats up to about 98 degrees.
Oh, I see what you did there, Kim. Very clever. Yeah, so Amazon Lara Croft, as Emily called her, she decided to take everyone to a self-defense class only to realize that she was really the only one who needed that self-defending.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. We have a lot to discuss today, and we're going to break down all of the rumors and nastiness going on in OC. But before we dive in, you guys know what to do. Hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any more Bravo breaking news.
Okay, so this episode started with like them in class, and it seemed like mid-conversation. And every time they do this to me, I always have this panic moment of, oh no, my recording got messed up because it's like it seems like they're already in the middle of something and I haven't been properly set, like the scene has not properly been set for me. And then we finally see 48 hours earlier and I was like, "Oh, okay, I didn't miss anything. This is on purpose." But every time the editors do, they always get me. They always
No,
get
I
me.
no, I literally was 30 seconds in and I rewound. I was like, did I miss
Right.
something?
Right. Right. Okay, so the real like meat kind of starts, 48 hours earlier. Tamara and Eddie are kind of recapping the Temecula trip at the same time that like Slade, they're, juxtaposing Slade and Gretchen talking about the Beverly Hills trip. And I don't know, it's just interesting because we're hearing like Eddie is really not a fan of Gretchen and Slade. He even says like they're evil, and he was very surprised to hear that Tamara was like talking to Gretchen again. And on the other side, Slade and Gretchen are just so obsessed with Tamara. I feel like they sit in their house like every night and just talk about Tamara, and it's like it's getting weird.
It's getting weird. To quote Nene Leakes, it is getting weird. What do you think about, I know we covered this last week, but, Tamara's talking to Eddie and they're really trying to, kind of break down what Tamara meant by calling Shannon out about her dad. Are you still, like, even after hearing her explanation, do you still think that she was trying to, make a moment and get a rise out of Shannon, or do you think she was genuinely trying to add to the conversation?
I think it's a little bit of both, but I do think that there was part of her that meant it as a little bit of a dig. I don't know that she was trying to get a rise out of her, but I think a little bit of it was shady. So I don't know, but like Gina seems to think that she was genuine. Even Jen seems to think she was genuine. Tamara's insisting that she was being genuine about it. And I can see that. But I also think it, I, just knowing Tamara, I feel like a part of it was a little bit of a dig. Where are you at with this one?
Yeah. I'm a little bit torn on this one because yeah, I don't know. Everybody's hating on us, like giving Tamara a slight benefit of the doubt. But in this instance, I don't know. I really do see it. They were like talking about it. She
Mhm.
brought it up. I don't think it was 100% malicious. I don't think she would have brought it up out of nowhere. It was part of what Shannon was talking about. But anyway, so yeah, we see Tamara and Eddie, and then we see Gretchen and Slade. And of course, Gretchen is gonna bring up the whole song thing. And boy, is my blood boiling during this scene, watching Gretchen be like, Slade, I'm really upset at you for bringing this up. All I was trying to do was just talk about the song. Uh, Cut to Gretchen in the car. When Emily is asking, when did Tamara record a song? Oh, when she effed so and so. Slade
It's
isn't the
yeah.
one that brought it up. Gretchen brought it up in the car. So why is she blaming this all on Slade? I don't get it.
Is there something about Gretchen being in a car where she cannot tell the truth, or like she has no recollection of what she says while she's in a vehicle.
It's giving Severance. Is there like any? Do you watch Severance?
No, but I know a little bit.
There's an innie Gretchen when she's in these Bravo vehicles, and then there's an outie Gretchen that doesn't remember what the innie is saying.
No, it honestly feels like that, because this is the second time now where she has said something in a vehicle to her castmates and then just seems to completely forget that those words ever left her mouth. She's blaming all of this on Slade. She's like, honey, no, I'm actually really pissed off that you brought up the affair thing, because, I was just trying to make it fun and campy and about the song. No, you weren't. That's literally the first thing that came out of your mouth.
It is ridiculous that she is saying these things and nobody's bringing this up. Like, nobody's saying that. I hope she gets called out at the reunion for all of these things that she is saying, and then hours later saying that she didn't say. Like, right. It's so infuriating as a viewer to see this go down. Oh my gosh. And then,
yeah. Oh, just real quick. You know what else is infuriating? I've held my tongue long enough for this, okay? This confessional look of Gretchen's with pink Barbie whatever. What is happening here? What is happening with this hair? It literally looks like she took a wig off of the shelf from the Hairspray musical prop department and just plopped it on top of her head. Every time it comes up, I am like, what is happening? How did a Flame Squad put this together?
Okay. That look, we thought was bad until Amazon Laura Croft walked through the doors of that defense class, because that, in my opinion, is worse. Okay?
Agree to disagree.
Okay, we'll
get great. Both not great, but
okay, we'll get to Amazon Laura Croft, but in this moment, we even hear Gretchen saying, everything makes me think of Tamara. Like, every single thing that happens in life, she can like tie back to Tamara. It's like my sign, like all roads lead to Bravo, but it's in Gretchen's mind, all roads lead to Tamara Judge. Did I hear that right?
Okay, so I actually didn't hear this part. And when I was checking our notes, I was like, wait, I totally missed that. But I'm sure you did. It sounds like something she would say.
Yeah, let us know in the comments if I made that up, because I'm pretty sure she just said, everything that happens to me makes me think of Tamara. So yeah, okay, obsessed. Like, it's getting weird. And yeah, I don't know. I really don't need to see any more of Slade Smiley on our screen. Every time we see him, it's a bit of a jump scare, and this week was no different.
Okay, so we have Tamara and Eddie talking, calling Gretchen and Slade liars. Then we have Slade and Gretchen talking, calling Tamara and Eddie liars. Now, I want to play a game of who do you trust the least, Kim?
Okay, Marisol.
Out of these two couples, exactly. Who do you trust the least?
Gretchen and Slade, 100%. Like,
thank you.
Yeah. You guys know we have been pretty anti-Tamara for a while now, okay? And the fact that somebody can come on and have us now be siding with Tamara Judge says a lot, don't you think?
Yes, it does say. But listen, I will say, like, as much as we disagree with Tamara a lot of times, I mean, she has made great television for a long time. So, like, she's sort of the anti-hero in that way where, yes, a lot of times she takes it too far. She does really shitty stuff to these people who are supposedly her friends. But I've still stuck with it because it's like she makes good television. Gretchen and Slade, I am just not buying what they're selling. Like, there's no redeeming qualities there, in my opinion. And so I'm like,
I'm not really sure what the redeeming quality for Tamara is. Like, maybe it's a little bit what you just said, but I agree nonetheless. I do have to say this bringing up shit from 15 years ago is getting old. I remember like when the season first started and Gretchen showed up, we were like, she has so much dirt and history on Tamara. This is going to be amazing. Cut to now, I'm over it. I'm done with it. It's like Gretchen came on the show with a checklist. Okay, naked wasted, check. Bass Lake, check. Deadbeat dad, check. Like just this list of things that she needed to bring up against Tamara. And it's like, no, girl, like stop. Come up with something new.
Yeah, totally. Okay, so what did you think about Tamara going to the Music Institute with Sophia? I felt like this was, I don't know. It's like, I think this is part of the redeeming qualities of Tamara is when you see her with Sophia and, you know, you can tell that they truly are close. And I mean, as a parent, it's got to be hard when your kids get to that age where you want them to, you know, go out and discover who they are and live their own lives, but you also want to keep them under your wing and protect them and, you know, have them live with you forever. So I don't know. I feel like that's part of what keeps us, well, at least me, I'll only speak for myself, what keeps me like at least engaged with Tamara.
Yeah, I mean, they do definitely seem to have a good relationship. I think it's kind of weird that we haven't seen her daughter until now, but I guess she was like too young to film or didn't want to film until she was, you know, of age or 18. So
I feel like it was a Simon thing. I think he didn't want them to film, but then once she turned 18, she was like, I want to film.
Yeah, so good for her. Good for her for going to the Music Institute. I did find it funny that like the Gretchen and Slade thing, they're like, you know, bagging on Tamara for not having any music abilities. And then now we have Tamara's daughter, you know, going into a career in music, which I thought was kind of funny. But hey, more power to her. Whatever she wants to do, you know, I support. I'm proud of her. I do kind of love to see these housewife kids, you know, grow up and be successful. And yeah, I do think that, you know, getting these personal scenes, while I have to admit they aren't the most interesting thing to watch, it does humanize these people and take them out of these scenarios where there's all this drama and legal issues and like nastiness that like doesn't really happen in real life.
Yeah. Yeah. And then we got to see Jen and her daughter.
Which we also haven't really seen a whole lot of.
No, I feel like we've barely
Never?
seen. Yeah, I don't know. Have we ever seen her? Like maybe in a scene, but like I don't know that we've heard her talk. So this was quite refreshing. I mean, she seems adorable, and you know, she seems like she really supports her mom. And I don't know, it was just like heartwarming to watch that.
It was cute. Did you hear that Jen apparently got full custody of all of her kids?
Oh,
Yes, she is now the sole, or I don't know, she got full custody of all of her kids in the divorce with her ex. So, I don't know.
I assume she already had full custody, no?
I think that they were still working out the terms of the divorce, but you know, I think she mentioned it on Watch What Happens Live. She's really happy about it. And you know, I guess they were already like basically living with her and Ryan. So
Right.
I don't know, that's good. But, you know, the daughter does seem to be kind of stuck in this in between where she does still have a good relationship with her dad. But, you know, obviously Jen is marrying Ryan and, you know, she's living with them. And it's got to be tough at that age to go through such like a major life change and shift.
Totally.
But I don't know. She asks her to be her maid of honor. It's a very heartfelt moment. You know, they're not married yet. Right?
Okay,
Like
I was just gonna ask that. Like, have they actually gotten married?
not that I feel like we would know if they did. And I feel like maybe it would be filmed, don't you think? Maybe. So I don't think it's happened yet. Because she's probably not officially divorced.
Oh, maybe not. Well,
Yeah, I
because
don't know.
they were talking about getting married in June before Dawson went off to the Marines. And then they said, okay, maybe September. We're almost at the end of September and we have not seen a wedding.
This is true. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, as the lie detector caught, you know, maybe Jen is, you know, having second thoughts or whatever. I still do ship Jen and Ryan. We haven't really seen a whole lot of Ryan, which I actually appreciate. The husband's kind of taking a back seat this season. Less of Eddie, less of Ryan, more of Slade, unfortunately. So that's unfortunate. But
Right.
yeah,
But
so
also, like, let's normalize, like, you can have a new life partner in your 50s and not have to get married, right? Like, I don't know. And then when she was asking, are we going to have bridesmaids and groomsmen? I was like, dear God, please no. Please no. You know how I feel. After a certain age, I'm sorry, you don't need bridesmaids and groomsmen. You just don't. You have grown children. Like, this is your second marriage. Just please no.
yeah. Well, and speaking of not getting married, Gretchen and Jen have become very good friends. And we know that Gretchen never married Slade and is
Right.
probably never going to because of, these financial issues. So,
Right. She would wind up like Brittany taking on all his debt.
yeah. So maybe Jen needs to maybe think about that a little bit. It looks like Brian's finances are all in a line, but there's still some shady stuff, going on behind the scenes. So maybe make sure that's all tied up and taken care of.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. So should we talk about self-defense?
Yes, I'm so ready.
Okay. We learned some interesting things here. First of all, we learned that Shannon has a stalker. Like, why is this the first we're hearing of it? And everyone was saying, oh, who really needs this class is Shannon because she is a stalker and it's like getting scary. It's like, wait, what?
I have a theory who it might be.
Oh, God.
Earl the Pearl.
No.
No, I don't know. I'm literally pulling that out of nowhere. Nobody said that. It's just, I don't know.
I could kind of see that.
They ended on a weird term, and I have to say he's a little bit too posty on TikTok and social media ever since his claim to fame on Love Hotel. So it's kind of giving off weird vibes.
Okay, I could actually see that.
Yeah, just yeah. We'll see if that ever gets revealed, but that's my guess.
We know it. Shannon seems
Based
to be
on no evidence, allegedly.
Allegedly. Shannon seemed to be handling herself pretty decently in that class. She had elbows up. She was going after the guy she was sparring with. Now, okay. Everyone shows up in like workout gear, right? It's a physical activity that we're doing here. Gina's like, I'm not doing glam, like we're exercising here. And then comes Gretchen in a full like zip up one suit complete with peekaboo lacy black bra, cleavage out, 36-inch long ponytail braid with chains wrapped around it, and a wet seal belt with holster. What were in those holsters? Like, because there was something in them. I'm like, are you actually like packing fake guns to complete this outfit?
It was definitely giving costume. And she, just embraced it. She walked in and she kind of knew she looked ridiculous. But I mean, that ponytail. Why? Why on earth would anybody wear that ponytail? She got full glam and she told those people, I want a 36-inch ponytail with wraparound braids and chains to go to this workout class. Like, what on
I mean,
earth?
I guess it made her feel like a badass, okay, like power to you, I guess. But it was, at least she had a good enough sense of humor to kind of like laugh it off when everyone was like, wait, what in the Amazon Lara Croft is happening here? But when we got the back shot of that ponytail and like the extension was just completely different color than the rest of her hair, I was like, oh no.
Oh no. Yeah. She said she was going to wrap it around Tamara's throat, which never happened. I would have liked to see that. But can we talk about the fake carjacking too? Because I did think that was really funny. We have Tamara like jumping behind Gina. And meanwhile, Shannon like really stood up for herself. She was scared, but she wasn't backing down and she didn't fall for it at all. So props to Shannon.
No, she took that way better than I would have. I would have been like, drive the fucking car. I probably would have crawled in the back and like started throwing my lipstick at him or something. I don't know.
Maybe you might need a self-defense class, even though you're
Honestly,
probably one of the most fit people I've ever met in my life.
I honestly looked it up like during this. I was like, no, I should actually do that. Okay, here's the thing. I feel like I do have a little bit of was it Tamara that was saying like, you know, bring it on, or because in the moment I want to think that I would be like just go nuts, right? And they always say just rage and then you're going to scare them. Like don't, oh my god, like you literally just be like ah! And like just start like going nuts, hitting whatever you can, and that will hopefully scare them off. Now, knock on wood, hopefully I'm never in this situation, but if I were, who knows how I would actually react, but I like to think in my head that I would be strong.
Well, watch out. This prank could come at you at any
Oh my
moment.
god.
So
No, it was mean. It was mean.
I liked it. And I also loved how Tamara was like, I almost had a heart attack. I would have sued Gretchen, but what would I have gotten? A bag of groceries and a subscription to Facetune. And I'm like, okay, like she's not wrong.
Sharpshooter.
Yet she did threaten to potentially sue Gretchen just recently over the whole rumor situation. She said she was going to go meet with her lawyer. So let us know what you end up getting out of that, Tamara. I guess Gretchen is safe because everybody knows they can't get anything out of her.
Add it to her list of grievances.
Truly.
Yeah. Okay. So, but Tamara in that shooting range, like she's not fucking around. I mean, she she hit every single target, it seems like, on the first try, and was just like, what, like it's hard?
Yeah, I mean, like, way to tell these women, like, don't mess with me. I think that's like a surefire way of letting them know that you might not want to be on Tamara's bad side, even though Gretchen already is. And I think we all predicted that the person who would be in the middle of this to pass the information on would be Emily, wouldn't you say?
Oh, yes. Emily did not hesitate. And I love when they do this, like after the activity has kind of come to a close or they're taking a break, the instructors simply say, all right, well, we're going to step out for a bit. And it's like, that's their cue to just, okay, we need to let the ladies talk shit now. So can you guys just get out of here? So Emily does not hesitate. She immediately tells Tamara what Gretchen said in Beverly Hills and, all about the song, how she was talking shit about Tamara's singing, and then how Slade allegedly has a recording of Tamara allegedly hooking up with whatever boy band member it was in the studio.
Allegedly, it's Jeff Timmons from 98 Degrees.
And you know what's so crazy, Kim, is when I listened to the recording on your That's My Opinion segment podcast episode, my first thought was, is that Nick Lachey? And I was like, or is it Drew Lachey? Like it was giving a Lachey. And then for me to find out that it was not a Lachey, but it was a different 98 Degrees member, like, I mean, that's pretty good guess on my part.
I mean, that is a special skill that one needs to have, like without any sort of knowledge. You just hear a boy band from the 90s and immediately know who it is. I mean, that's a special skill.
It's giving I watched too much TRL after school.
Truly.
Oh my God. So, it was also funny because in this moment, I think Jen at one point says like, Gretchen, like the last thing she wants to do is talk about Tamara. And I was like, Jen, I'm sorry. Have you heard any of these conversations? Are you also like part of the innie outie severance club where once you're out of Gretchen's presence, you forget everything that she said? Because that's literally all she does is talk about Tamara.
I mean, isn't that how they bonded in the first place? Like Tamara was both of their enemies and one of them reached out to the other. Like, let me know if you ever want to talk about her. Like,
Right.
I'm pretty sure that's how their friendship began in the first place. But it's definitely hypocritical that, like Gretchen hates on Tamara for bringing all of this up. The whole Bass Lake thing, on Gretchen's checklist gets brought back up. And now Gretchen's bringing stuff up about Tamara. So, like, I don't know. Maybe it's a little bit of tit for tat. But also, I see what they're saying, how it is a bit hypocritical that, Gretchen's doing the exact thing that she doesn't want Tamara to do to her. And Emily has a point. The student is becoming the master. As these weeks have kind of gone on, we see nods of like, oh, Gretchen is becoming Tamara. Oh, they're like the same person. And it truly is like, before Tamara was saying, oh, Jen is the single white female, but is it actually Gretchen? And has it been Gretchen all along?
I think there's a lot more evidence that points to Gretcher's being the single white female. By the way, I've never even seen that movie. It's a movie, right? Single white female, where the
Beats me.
but I know the reference.
Same. So I'm just going with it. If I'm wrong, you can tell me I'm wrong. So we get this information passed to Tamara, right? And they all sit down to dinner and we know it's about to blow up. But can I just ask one question? Why are they eating dinner at the self-defense gym? It's like a catered spread in like the kickboxing room. Like, what is happening here?
I have no words. Again, is it corn? Is it couscous? I don't know. But where is this gym that they couldn't go down the street to like an actual restaurant and had to have it catered with sandwiches? And then why is Gretchen just opening up a shooter of Fireball and like casually taking sips of it when no one else is drinking? There's not wine being served or anything. Like, it was very random.
They just finished a workout class, and your first thing that you want to do is open up a mini of Fireball and start taking shots. Like, and we see Gretchen sitting right next to Shannon, who was just accused of having a drinking problem and being an alcoholic. Meanwhile, Gretchen's just finished her workout and is chugging a Fireball, and Shannon's like, what is going on here?
No, that was such a strange choice on Gretchen's part. I don't know if she was nervous, but like, it's never a good look. Okay, when you're sitting down, there's no alcohol being served, so you pull some out of your bag or your holster. I guess that's what was in the holster.
Yeah. A holster of Fireball, like truly. Oh my gosh. And it's like she had to know because Fireball was such like a, running joke the night of the sleepover, right? And is the reason why she got so loose-lipped. So her bringing that out again was just like giving them a segue to bring it up, right? Tamara's like, oh, was it Emily or Tamara that were like, oh, you're drinking Fireball again? And Tamara's like, well, you seem to say a lot of shit when you drink Fireball. So, let's talk about what you said about me. And like Gretchen is so annoyed that Emily brought this up. Of course, Emily's going to bring it up. You're on a TV show. And then she has the audacity to say, you guys were just as much a part of that as I was. What?
No, they weren't. Now, was Emily pushing to hear the song and hear the recording?
Of course.
But you brought it up, Gretchen. You perpetuated it. Like, you can't plant that seed and not expect the other people you're with to be like, okay, well, let's hear it.
It's insane. And then she's like blaming them for making her call Slade and everything. And then, she's egging Tamara on like, well, I get sent so much stuff about you. This isn't even the half of it. And then we get the iconic, what do you know about me, bitch, from Tamara, which I thought was really funny. Shit hits the fan. I've seen a lot of people on social media also call out that Tamara, like as a, top tier, very seasoned housewife, did moved to the other side of the table during this argument so it could be, filmed perfectly with Gretchen on one side and Tamara on the other. But they continue to go off on each other, and we hear some other stuff about Gretchen, which is,
Yeah,
not looking so great.
right. It gets into like, you destroy people's lives, like you set out to destroy people's lives, and then like, oh, you got sued over this, and Gretchen's like, and I won, and blah blah blah, and at something about pictures of Gretchen on the internet. I don't know what that's about. Do you?
Well, it all ties back to, did you go to Bass Lake? The iconic, OC
Yeah.
storyline from way back. And I guess Gretchen allegedly cheated on her first. Were they married? Her husband,
No,
Jeff,
they
the
were
old one.
engaged.
Yeah, so with this guy in Bass Lake, and then they ended up suing each other, which doesn't really sound like Tamara was even a part of, and Gretchen won. I do want to call out something, though, that I forgot to call out earlier, which is when Emily brought this up to Tamara in the first place. Wasn't it odd that the first line out of Tamara's mouth when Emily brought up the rumor was, oh yeah, so that happened like right after I left Simon and, when I started dating Eddie. And it's like, why is that your first, the first line out of your mouth when you hear about this rumor is regarding the timeline of your relationships? It's like, I guess this rumor had gone around before, but I still thought it was odd that was the first thing out of her mouth, that she needed to clear up that timeline. Don't you think?
Right. Yeah, no, totally. But you know what was weird is that now Tamara is saying that it was for some charity thing that she was asked to record this song. So that's way different than her going out and saying, you know what, I want to be a pop singer. Like, I'm going to record a song as Tamara Judge, the artist. Because
1000%.
Gretchen's whole thing was, oh, for someone who talked shit and said housewives should be housewives and not singers. Well, she wasn't trying to become a singer. She was literally asked to record something for charity. And she was like, I was so bad at it that I was like, you can't use this.
1000%.
I didn't mention this in the episode, which I thought was strange.
No, Tamara did hit on it during Watch What Happens Live a little bit, but I couldn't agree more. Like, Tamara in no way was trying to become a singer. She knew she wasn't a singer. I don't think the song even ever got officially released, probably because it was so bad. Like, Tamara's owning up to that. She was never trying to become a singer. So for Gretchen to continue to perpetuate that Tamara has such a bad voice, like,
right.
You got nothing, girl.
Yeah, she would agree with you on that.
It's just, oh my gosh, I am so tired of Gretchen Rossi on this show. I mean, do you think that there is any way for her to kind of come back in the good graces of the public and the viewers right now? Because I don't think I'm the only one that feels this way.
Well, she needs to start focusing on herself and stop focusing so much on Tamara, because what is Gretchen's storyline if not Tamara? And like, that's not going to be good for your career. You know what I mean? That will only get you so far. Sure, you got your foot back in the door, like you got back on the show, but like, we're already tired of it. So you got to give us something else.
We're tired. Our weave is exhausted. The panty liners on our underwear are exhausted. It's getting tired. You need to like come up with something new. I feel like they could have nipped it in the bud, their history with each other, like in maybe 1 or 2 episodes, but we're drawing it out. And I also have one final question. So you mean to tell me that Katie is accused of lying and gets kicked off the show? We never see her again. And now Gretchen is accused of lying and nothing happens to her. Like, what's the difference? Spot the difference. Tell me the difference and tell me why we're not even getting solo scenes with Katie. Like, we got all of these scenes of the moms and their daughters and their kids.
Right.
We could have easily gotten a Katie scene like that. Why didn't we? Why? Why is she not on the show anymore?
I don't know. But then she's still in the opening credits, right?
Yeah, it's so weird. I actually didn't notice. Did we even get an opening credits? Because remember, we started with the 48 hours earlier. So
Yeah, maybe we didn't, but I did remember, like, at least last week, I do remember seeing her in the opening credits and then thinking, wow, she was not in one scene. So she has to come back, right? Otherwise, why would they keep her in the opening credits and like keep her as a full-time housewife this season? Because I've always heard that they don't know who they're going to extend a full-time offer to or a friend of offer to until they're done filming. And then they review everything and they're like, okay, this person's full-time, this person's full-time, this person's friend of. But like, so there has to be something else coming with Katie that would make them keep her as a full-time cast member, right?
that would be my guess too. That's a good point. So I don't know. I mean, she doesn't go on the final cast trip, though it does look like I saw her post something. She is getting ready for the reunion. She said she's going to be at the reunion. She said she's going to be at BravoCon. So I don't know. I just think it's so odd that she's just disappeared off the face of the planet for doing something that, like, we're continuing to see other housewives do across almost every franchise. So
Yeah.
it's just so confusing to me. If anybody can explain it, please help a girl out.
Yeah, no, it's definitely a strange situation. But I do know one thing. I do know that when Tamara got up and kind of started coming at Gretchen, I was thinking, Gretchen, do the elbow helmet, do the elbow helmet.
Yeah,
And then
I know, right? And the grabbing of the arms.
yeah.
Fuck you. I mean, that was intense. That was intense. We have Tamara storming off. Oh gosh. And then like to be continued, I guess. I don't know. I guess we saw a preview for next week, but we didn't really see much about the whole Tamara and Gretchen, thing, any updates on that. So I don't know. I am interested to see what goes down next week. And we'll be back here to mention it all.
Yes, thank you guys so much for watching and listening. And if you enjoyed what you heard, please rate us 5 stars. It really helps us out. If you didn't, just don't say anything at all, okay? Because those 1-star ratings really kill us. So just keep it to yourself, keep moving on with your day. And I'm so excited for BravoCon, Kim. Like the countdown is officially on and I just cannot wait.
I cannot wait. Let us know if you're going to be there as well. We would love to meet up and see and meet each and every one of you. So let us know in the comments, hit that subscribe button, leave us a rating, and we'll see you guys next week.
Bye.
Bye.